What's going on, everyone? It's Sean from Barbell Built Body, and today we're going to be talking about trap activation during the lateral raise exercise, an exercise commonly used to target the deltoids. Now, we're going to address it from 3 different points on why you should be feeling it and why it's normal to be feeling trap fatigue or trap activation in this exercise. And the first thing is going to be scapular movement. We're going to talk about then the origins, what's responsible for that movement. Spoiler alert, it's the traps. And then lastly, we're going to talk about what happens when you try and alter that scapulohumeral rhythm, which is basically the movement of the arm and the scapula as they move together. Scapula oftentimes moves in conjunction with what the glenohumeral joint, the shoulder joint, is doing. So let's get started. All right, so first of all, what you're going to see is some unweighted, just shoulder abduction exercise, working through the full range of motion. So I'm literally just moving through, and as you can see, the traps are extremely active during this and through at a very low, almost immediately as soon as the shoulder starts abducting out. So this is crucial because this is going to come into play, right? You can't avoid trap activation during this exercise. So we're going to be going to, just so you can see the scapula moving, basically the top, like almost horizontal line is the spine of the scapula or close, and then the almost vertical line is the medial border. So what you're seeing in these is as you move through the movement, that scapula is upwardly rotating. So about the halfway point, you can see it's slowly upwardly rotating, and then if you go through the full range of motion, it's rotating. What is responsible for that movement? It is the traps. So because of the low angle of abduction, the traps, as you can see right here, freeze frame, almost immediately in the movement, the traps are activated during abduction because the scapulas are upwardly rotating. That means you cannot avoid trap activation during this exercise. So yes, it targets the delts, but you're still going to be feeling the trap activation. Okay, so now that we know that the scapula significantly upwardly rotates, even at a very low angle of abduction. So starting very low here, it starts to upwardly rotate. Now, what is responsible for this movement? It's the traps. The traps insert into the lateral 1/3 of the clavicle, the acromion, and the spine of the scapula. So back here, right here. Guess where the deltoid inserts or originates? The same area. So we basically have the deltoid pulling the arm up, and then you have the traps pulling your shoulder up as it upwardly rotates. So you have both working at the same time. Now, one of the very simple tests for this is to simply, if you want to see if you can do it without, grab a weight. So if you take a weight and you literally just hold it at your side, touch your trap and see how much it's activating, just at shoulder level. You can feel it. It's tight. So you can't avoid that. Now, the only thing you can do to try and avoid that activation, which is something I don't recommend, is so to target the deltoids, to truly target, you would have to only move very little to where the scapula is not moving. So here, which is going to be done on something like a cable machine if you're literally only moving that. But that's not a full range of motion. I wouldn't recommend that. There's nothing wrong with feeling in your traps. What you don't want to do is try and force your scapula down, basically forming like a scapular dyskinesis, which is a poor, bad movement pattern of the scapula because it's not moving with the arm as it should with the glenohumeral joint. And so in that case, what you do is pin those down and then have the shoulder moving without the scapula moving. Now, not a great call, but that's the only way to really eliminate trap activation, which you should not do. Let me underscore that again. It is perfectly normal to feel this exercise in the traps. So don't try and do this. And it's okay to feel in the traps. You're still targeting the deltoid. Remember, a movement pattern, if you're working the joint or the muscle through the range of motion that it works, you're going to be targeting that muscle. What happens is other muscles are always going to help. You even have the supraspinatus. Even if you only went to here and you did these short little things, short little movements, guess what you're still activating? The supraspinatus, which is one of the rotator cuff muscles. So it's impossible to truly isolate muscles, and that's okay. But don't also try and alter the movement, especially with scapula, and then try and go up high, because what you're going to have is basically your humerus is going to slap into the top of the acromion and you get impingement stuff. So don't try and alter the movement. It's okay to feel it in your traps. I hope this is helpful. If you like this information, like the video, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.